MacNN, one more thing, this episode.
Duct tape makes you smart.
And we are the Bug Check.
You are coming to a sad realization.
Hello, I'm William Gallagher. This is MacNN, one more thing. And it's me, William Gallagher, the guy who just said his name. You'll never guess what it is. It's William Gallagher with him, Malcolm Owen. Hello, Malcolm. What's your name?
Hello, my name is Malcolm Owen. Who are you?
That works out so well. I'm William. We have spoken before some 27 times. Most of which you look at me like that.
Okay.
Listen, looking at things. Okay, lots of stuff going on at the moment with the FBI and all that, but I think we've done all that. It's going to work out. It'll be happy. Let's look instead to other things that are going on. I just didn't expect them to be going on yet, previously. Before I actually did anything with MacNN and I was out there in the wild alone, when it would get to about a week before WWDC, I would switch off my RSS newsfeed because I got sick of the deluge of rumours about what Apple was going to release next. And some of them were right and some of them weren't. And usually there was a lot where it didn't happen and people were complaining that it didn't happen. People complained that Apple didn't do something Apple didn't say it was going to do. And I just found the whole thing tiresome. I've been caught unawares this week by not a deluge, more than a torrent, somewhere between a deluge and a torrent of rumours about the new iPhones, plural, and new iPads and stuff. And I can kind of understand the iPad one because we might be coming to a release very soon. But iPhone 7s already? Malcolm, what are the rumours? And more importantly, why are they happening now?
Well, they're happening now because apparently there will be some sort of event happening later this month where Apple will apparently get on stage and apparently tell us about things, apparently. That's all, really.
Later this month? We're in March already, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean...
how did that happen?
Officially speaking, Apple has said absolutely nothing about what it's going to be showing off because that's what it does. And unfortunately that means that because everyone keeps on doing the whole Mystic Meg sort of predictions of I was right after the event, everyone's deciding that they're just going to load up their concept shotguns and see what eventually hits the target.
I like it. The iPhone 7 will run Android. You heard it here first and probably last. That kind of thing?
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I mean, that's too far even for you.
Oh, come on. Challenge accepted. iPhone 7 will run Windows and BlackBerry. What does BlackBerry run on? Can't remember. BlackBerry OS or something like that. Yeah, in fact, they're going to ditch iOS. They've got up to iOS 9 now. They can't go any further. They're going to take Android / Symbian / BlackBerry Windows hybrid kind of thing. Or they're going to go for, let's see, it's going to be thinner. I wouldn't bet against that. Other thing we've heard before about a new style headphone jack using the Lightning port. I'm hearing it'll be stereo speakers. Do I care about stereo speakers on the phone? Do Android phones have stereo speakers?
Yeah, some do. One of the earlier ones that's got some level of success is the HTC Boom Sound sort of system. Boom Sound being, as far as I'm aware, something that was in collaboration with Beats when it was first come out.
Beats, I've heard of them.
Yeah.
Does it work? Is it? I mean, if I listen to stereo stuff on my iPhone, I listen to it over headphones. Perhaps I'm just a civic-minded person as I walk around, but I presume the sound can't be great.
Well, to be fair, if you had the speakers further apart, it would probably work better in terms of stereo. I mean, I do have a phone here which has which does the stereo thing, and all it does is it makes a slightly clearer sound. It can kick out audio a lot more volume than I would expect to hear from a normal single mono sounding phone. But there's a bit of help for it, but at the same time the speakers need to be further apart or more directional or something like that. Just the form factor of the phone is not really doing it. On a tablet it is probably going to be more pronounced, but you're not getting much of a stereo effect on a smartphone just from the sheer size.
Actually, do you know, I was really sarky there about stereo on phones, but when you said tablet, I'd honestly forgotten this. iPad Pro has gorgeous speakers, and the first time you use it, when you're used to an iPad Air, the volume in every sense, it just seems to occupy the room much more, and it's in stereo, and it's got this clever stuff of it alters the front and the back speakers depending on the way you hold the thing. And actually, I really like listening to music and particularly watching Netflix and videos and stuff on my iPad Pro. Okay, you turn me around there. How about an idea that I think nobody likes about the iPhone 6 that I have, and the 6S and the 6 Plus and the 6S Plus, is that they have a camera poking out the back. I've now got mine in a case, so I don't notice it, but it does seem awkward. There is a rumour that, of course, somehow Apple will magically get rid of that. Do we know if that's just wishful thinking, or have any parts been seen for this? Are we at part leakage day yet?
No, I haven't seen anything remotely similar to a leak of they're using a smaller camera. I know there's talk of a dual camera system being used, but nothing as evidence that they're going to be removing the camera hump or bump on the back. It's plausible. Basically, at this point, anything is plausible, quite frankly. So there's a chance that they might do it, and there's probably things out there that would suggest that yes, they will do it, but at the same time, no idea.
Yeah, it's funny. I think as much as I avoid the rumours, the fuzzy product picture leak day photos, we always seem to get photographs of a new part for an iPhone, but they're always photographed so badly. And there's one shot. It's like when people see Bigfoot or UFOs, you think they would snap all the time, but no, they just get one, and it's a little fuzzy and yeah, right, kind of thing. But occasionally they are true. So maybe people are deliberately fuzzing up their leaked photos. I don't know. It's a sport. It's a new thing. It's an internet meme. Cameras, you said dual camera there. A thing I read was that, yes, we'll have the iPhone 7 and the iPhone 7 Plus, but we might get dual cameras in an iPhone 7 Plus Pro Air Mini or something like that. If that happens, that means 3 phones in the 7 range. There's also this talk of the smaller one. I can't remember the sizes of these things. The 4.7 thing. Whatever the iPhone 5 size used to be, that would be a new version of that. So that would make 4 iPhones on sale. And Apple always bumps down last year's one, it keeps on the list. So that's 6 iPhones on sale. Is Apple turning into an Android-style phone reseller?
Oh, that's dirty talk.
Yeah,
Bring it. No. This is something that I'd be suggesting to you, surely, not the other way around.
Well, it's a phone for every pocket in every sense. I think it's irresistible.
What? So what you're going to be suggesting now is they're going to be bringing out an even cheaper iPhone that will be useful for emerging markets, if you will.
You mean like, is it the $4 smartphone that runs Android somewhere, or sort of Android, or it looks like it runs Android? Yeah, I see that as the next big market for Apple. Or it will be, assuming that Tim Cook ever gets out of prison, of course.
Oh, obviously. We don't know how he'll be able to handle prison with his billions.
No. There's got to be an jail somewhere for this. Okay, I feel we may possibly have gone further down the rumour line than is legally safe at this stage. So let's just dial it back a little bit to something that was rumour. And actually, I think it's something you know a lot more about than I do. I should narrow that down. You know everything about. Yeah, anyway, there's one particular thing I'm thinking of, which was rumour, which has been coming for a long time, but as I understand it, is kind of sort of here a bit. The Microsoft HoloLens. Can I go down to a Microsoft shop, fight through the queues and buy one today, or have I got that wrong?
No. The HoloLens augmented reality headset, which makes you look like a really low-tech version of Geordi LaForge from Star Trek The Next Generation, apparently that's going to be shipping in the United States and Canada at the end of this month in the development edition. and it's going to cost somewhere in the region of $3,000.
Okay. Yeah. So, that's an hour's income, really, right there. That's quite a lot.
Yeah, that's a bit too expensive for most people, I think. But then again, it's a development edition and not a consumer edition, so they can get away with charging nosebleed prices for such a headset.
Fair enough. I think the thing I'm never going to buy something at £3,000 for this, even if it was from Apple. I didn't appreciate that it was a developer kit, which means it's a business tool, which means it still isn't here for us. But presumably, developers are not going to spend a lot of money on this without the expectation that, say, by Christmas or something, there's going to be something that customers can buy. Do we have any clue at all whatever timescale passes, or are we still in the rumour stage?
We have absolutely no idea when Microsoft will be bringing out HoloLens for consumers. If you think about it, when the Oculus Rift has been in public development for what feels like 78 years, and it took about 3 or 4 decades, relatively speaking, to go from being a developer edition to having a consumer edition announced. Those are both exaggerations in terms of time, so don't believe those. But it's been quite a while since Oculus came out and said, here's the developer edition on Kickstarter, and then a couple of years later they're finally saying, here's the consumer edition. And also, by the way, the developer edition cost closer to $1,000 to get, and the consumer edition, which has been announced, will be coming out in, it's probably the end of this month, I think. Hang on, 28th of March for $600. So it's gone down in price, which is nice.
It's still a bit of an ouch.
True.
Is there any chance that these things will all be compatible?
Ask me again.
No, I don't think I dare, actually. Okay, we're certain of the 28th of March. So that's an actual probable product.
So that's an actual date for shipments for the Oculus Rift, for the consumer edition at least. HTC's with its Vive, that's going to be coming out at a slightly higher 800. So that's going to be coming out a little bit later. Pre-orders have already started for it. But yeah, it's going to be an expensive endeavour, at least initially, for those headsets. Now, with what Microsoft is doing, because it's not really fair to directly compare them in a kind of way, if you get what I mean, because it's a different type of product. It's augmented reality, not virtual reality. What Microsoft is doing is, because it's superimposing graphical images over real-world physical objects that are in your view, it's having to do things like detecting what you're looking at and then working out where it is in 3D space and where it relates to your eyes and putting the image in the right place and reticulating splines and building additional pylons and so on. So there's a lot of things that it's having to do. But at the same time, there's been a lot more work done to VR than anything on HoloLens so far.
So if I had $3,000 for Microsoft's one and $600 or whatever it was for the other one, could I wear the Microsoft HoloLens and then the Oculus Rift on top of that and have augmented virtual reality?
Then you will get no.
I don't think you're allowed to swear, but otherwise, go for it. Tell me what you think of me.
No, it wasn't a swearing. It was more trying to confuse. Where on earth are you going with that? I mean, augmented virtual. So what you're saying is VR still?
Yeah, I'm looking to the future here. You're the one talking about products out today. I'm looking into the far future when Apple is selling $4 Android phones and people will have several VR helmets in a row and probably propped up by their selfie stick. This is the future. Get with the program. Or alternatively, don't. Okay, can I just point out, we must have named 80 products so far and only one of them is actually out. Or no, even that's not out. It's just coming very soon. How about we play it a little safer and go away from rumours and product announcements and instead go to something going away. This week, WhatsApp has announced that it is dropping support for all BlackBerries. Now, that's the headline news. It's also dropping Windows 7.1, Android 2.1. I don't know whether any of this matters, partly because I don't really understand how old Windows and Android versions are, but also BlackBerry has this. What's this? It's like a BlackBerry messaging thing, whatever that's called. Does a BlackBerry user need or care about WhatsApp?
Well, really speaking, the only reason people bought BlackBerries was to use BBM. So I never really understood the point of having another messaging app on top of it that allowed you to connect to other people, except possibly to connect to other people who are not using BlackBerries. That's the only real reason.
That is a growing number, to be fair.
But it's understandable why the BlackBerry 10 has become a casualty for this. But then again, it is worth noting that although they've announced that they're dropping support, they are giving people a massive amount of time to prepare for it. Namely, it's going to be dropping support by December this year.
Oh, that's pretty good, I guess. A little bit. BBM was the thing I'd forgotten. That was the name. I seem to remember, actually during the UK riots a few years ago, that BBM was a big thing, and apparently teenagers had BBM, which seems so unlikely then and now impossible. But there was talk that BBM was this fabulous thing that BlackBerry would never allow anywhere else, and then of course they did, that it was at least going to come out for iPhone and I imagine Android. So has it broken the wall now? Do we know? Do we care? So in fact, WhatsApp's cross-platform ability is no longer of any benefit to a BlackBerry fan, if there is.
I don't think it's really a case of not being a benefit to a BlackBerry user. I think it's more a case of making it a lot easier for the Facebook-owned messaging service to manage its app. Remember, if you're making an app for iOS and then you're making an app for Android, you are increasing the workload, not necessarily by a factor of 2, but you're increasing the workload by a significant amount. And then with a third and then a fourth and a fifth and so on, the workload just increases more and more. It costs more money, and the return that you get for every successive thing that you put on in terms of less and less popularity becomes less useful to you. So bearing in mind BlackBerry is in the consumer phone market effectively dead in the water, there are not many phones in emerging markets that are running BlackBerry 10 because it's mostly for much newer, more expensive devices. It's not really picked up as much as it should have done, or at least what BlackBerry would have wanted it to. So it's got barely any market share. So WhatsApp is doing the logical thing of saying, we can't be bothered with that. I can understand that.
What about the stuff with Android 2.1 and thing? I don't know the numbers with Android. I just know it's Android Crisps or Android Twix or something edible, really. Something that actually sounds quite appealing to me. So version 2.1, is that Marshmallow or something like that? Does it matter?
Well, Android Blueberry Porridge? I don't know. I can't remember what it was. But
I guess I'm asking, what version number is Android on now? I really have no idea.
I think the main thing here is that most people have moved on. Most devices out there on Android are going to be at least 4 point something and later. Anyone who's using 3 or 2, it's going to be an extremely legacy device, which is probably on its last legs. So again, it's a numbers and support and return problem. Obviously, earlier versions of Android are going to be more likely to be used in emerging markets because of cheaper devices. But at the same time, even then, there's a limit as to how cheap a device can get and how early a version of Android you can get away with. And really speaking, given that it's a low-cost operating system to implement anyway, regardless of the version, they're more likely to go for the later versions than the earlier versions anyway.
And I presume same thing with Windows 7.1. Oh, sorry, stupid of me. Are Windows phones on Windows 10 now, like the PCs?
Yeah. That's the current version of Windows Phone. It's now Windows Mobile, I believe. But that's what they're trying to get everyone to move on over to. But then again, there is the whole thing of having to own a Windows Phone.
We say that, but I actually know one person who has a Windows Phone, and he seemed quite happy with it, to be fair, actually. He was swiping away, and I thought it seemed a bit cumbersome to me, but he really liked it.
Well, if they like using it, then okay, it's not really my place to judge. But at the same time, they're using the wrong phones.
Speaking of Windows, then, something happened this week. It's only an advert, but I'm agog at this. Windows 10 has started a new series of ads. I think there's a thing in the UK, or at least there used to be. There were regulations that a company's adverts couldn't really just diss everybody else in the same sphere. They had to be about their own stuff, and that clearly does not apply in the States. This is quite a mild dig from Microsoft. It's bigging up Windows, of course it is. There's a little dig at Apple partway through, but what I cannot get over is the idea. Well, no, let's just hear it first. This is one of two current ads from Windows 10.
Hi, I'm Christy.
And I'm Jess.
And we are the Bug Chicks. We're a nano business.
Windows 10 really helps us get the word out about how awesome bugs are.
Kids learn to be brave and curious, and all kids speak the language of bug.
Hey, Cortana, find my Katydid video.
So good.
If you're trying to teach a kid about a proboscis, just sketch it on the screen.
I don't have a touch screen on my Mac.
I'm jealous of that.
You put a big bug in a kid's hands and change their worldview.
I actually think that's well made. Sound production's really good. If you check out the Bug Chicks, as they call themselves, and you look at their videos, the sound quality and the production quality is incredibly different. You really appreciate how well filmed Microsoft One thing is. But Bug Chicks? In any other context, I mean, I would never call somebody a chick, but this is someone calling themselves it, so their choice, fine. But Microsoft advertising Windows using the Bug Chicks. I mean, it's like, wasn't there a blue screen of death chicks somewhere, or the Dixie Chicks or something like that? Malcolm, is this just me thinking of this, or should somebody at Microsoft said, do you know, Bug? Maybe not.
Well, to be fair, on the one hand, they are saying bug as in completely in the context of creepy crawly or insect or basically anything that makes you look at an episode of Fear Factor and go, ooh, I wouldn't want to do that. I'm more concerned about the fact that there's a 30-second explainer which introduces the Bug Chicks, and they say, we're a nano business. And no, you're a small business. Maybe a business, but you're not a nano business. We're a pico business.
I don't know what a nano business is. I'm a one-man band. I'm self-employed, and there are two of them, so they're double me, at least. Also better funded and more talented and doing more interesting things. But that's a side issue. You think there shouldn't be an NSMBE, nano small business enterprise stuff.
I'm sorry.
It sounds good.
I understand the concept of what they're trying to do. They're trying to educate people about all these things that you don't particularly want to see crawling out from under your bed. But I'm sorry, nano business.
Well, do you know, I've got to look this up. We have is nano business, NaNoWriMo just came up there as I type. Is it a term? There is a nanobusiness.org and the Nanobusiness Commercialization Association.
Oh, for love of...
Non-profits and stuff. Bridging the financial gap for early... And that's where the Google thing, kinda. Oh, the Huffington Post, those people that don't pay anybody who write anything, have somehow got somebody writing that it's a little but fierce model of entrepreneurship.
A little fierce model.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what on earth are they taking?
They are taking time. They are taking liberties. They are apparently taking Windows. I'm actually slightly intrigued by the fact that there is that little dig in that one we just heard. My Mac doesn't do that. I'm jealous.
Even
She's
on,
still using the Mac.
Yeah, even on the new Macs, they don't have that.
Yeah. So, yeah. And actually, she's right.
It's a tiny dig. It's not a huge dig.
No, I just think you're actually also saying Of the two people interviewed, one of them continues to use a Mac. So, yay, Windows 10. Though I actually think the point is fair. I think Cortana on PCs is, I imagine, really useful. I think Siri on Macs, I would be using that every day the way I do on my watch, my iPhone, my iPad and things. So, score one to Windows for that. Absolutely. But it's the bug bit. It's the half of the people interviewed aren't using Windows 10. At least it's not the Tupperware party advert. It's not Jerry Seinfeld and Bill Gates kind of advert. But still... No,
I do have to admit that this is... People are probably clutching their imaginary pearls at Microsoft vaguely attacking Macs in general at the end of each of these ads. But at the same time, it's look at how Mac advertising has been, and look at specifically I'm a Mac, I'm a PC, and with that, they were more descriptive in saying Mac users are normal people, smart, intelligent, normal people. PC users are freaking idiots.
Well, not the terms they used, and I think that's a harsh view of an ad campaign that actually I found amusing. But yes, I see your point. Apple, absolute blatant. Microsoft are a bit more than snide, less than diggy. But funny you should mention I'm a Mac, I'm a PC, because I wanted us to hear a particular one from something like, can you believe, 10 years ago, somewhere around then. This is I'm a Mac, I'm a PC, regarding the then new Windows Vista.
Hello, I'm a Mac. Mac is issued a salutation, cancel or allow.
Allow, and I'm a PC.
You're returning Mac salutation, cancel or allow?
Allow.
Okay, what gives?
Mac is asking a question, cancel or allow?
Allow. He's part of Vista, my new operating system. PCs have a lot of security problems, so he asked me to authorize pretty much anything I do.
You're pointing out Vista's flaws, cancel or allow?
Allow. I could turn him off, but then he wouldn't give me any warnings at all, and that would defeat the purpose, so.
You are coming to a sad realization, cancel or allow?
Allow.
I'm going to say, actually, I quite enjoyed that a little bit. Malcolm, you're going to say, nah. And I know a lot of PC users got a bit annoyed. Let's move on. Malcolm, every single time you have the best ever thingy of the week. Tell me something great now. What's your thingy of the week for this week?
What's the best way to saying this? I'm having to move house, so there's no traditional thingies of the week from me this week, purely because I'm having to do things like putting things in boxes, putting them in the car, and waiting for them to be taken to the other side where they get unloaded and put into a room and waiting for me, and so on and so forth. So my week is filled with that. I do not have any sort of thingy of the week for that. Well, actually, yeah, there is actually one. I think we've already covered this, I think, in the past. Duct tape.
For a job like getting rid of the drug dealer next door, I'll take a hardware store over a gun any day. Guns make you stupid. Better to fight your wars with duct tape. Duct tape makes you smart.
This is a Duck brand, but there's other brands available, which is a white glossy one. I put one long label onto a box of this stuff, wrote in whiteboard marker what it's supposed to be going to in terms of in the house that I'm going to be moving to. It goes off, box comes back for the next load, and all I do is just wipe the label off and write a new one on.
I like the sound of that. That's actually genuinely useful. Cool. I'm actually taking a lead from you on Things of the Week.
Oh dear.
A few weeks ago, you picked The Martian as your Thingy of the Week. I'm half going that way. This is my Thingy of the Week.
Unbreakable, they alive, damn it, it's a miracle. Unbreakable, they alive, damn it, with females all strong and unbreakable, they alive, damn it, it's a miracle. Unbreakable, they alive, damn it. That's gonna be, fascinating transition. Damn it.
Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, Season 1. I got Netflix in order to watch this show, and I'm very pleased that I did. This week, though, just to pull this into the technology realm, there is Netflix 8.0.0. Why it isn't just 8, I don't know, but it's a new version of the iOS app for Netflix. All it does is redesign the controls a bit, but it does that so that it doesn't look stupid anymore on the iPad Pro. So that's Netflix 8.0.0, or rather it's Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt on Netflix 8, whatever, and more coming. That's my thingy of, well, it's not thingy of the year, but it's taken me from Christmas when I got Netflix to now to see the season. So my thingy of the several weeks has that. And here's the thing about both my thingy of the week and Malcolm's, you can get them now. Duct Tape is available in stores. Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt is available on Netflix. HoloLens, Oculus Rift, iPhone 7, 7S, 7S Plus, 5S, 5E, Pro may not ever come at all. So let's concentrate on what's going on here. Oh, you could get Windows 10, but be serious. Yeah, I thought Malcolm would throw something there. I think he's aiming to throw something. It's time for me to get out of the way. Let me say goodbye, and Malcolm, before you throw something, could you say goodbye as well?
Goodbye as well.